Hi YouTube and welcome to my channel. Today we are going to be introducing the 100 baby challenge onto the channel, and it's my first ever challenge that I'm ever completing. So for it to be the 100 baby challenge, lots of crying babies. I don't know why I'm doing this to myself, but I have a very interesting sim to do this with, so I feel like she will pull me through, you know? Anyway, let's meet the family. So for the 100 baby challenge, I'm not going to be fully strict with the rules because one of the reasons why I never play challenges is because I don't like to be restricted. But for new gameplay and just to try out something fun for me, I am going to be influenced by the challenge rather than fully pledgely follow everything that is set as the rules. But anywho, so this is Sabrina McMullen, and she is the daughter and only child of Glenn and Sora McMullen. And her parents are the owners of this very prestigious town. Okay, maybe not prestigious, but you know, in their eyes, they see no wrong with it. It's beautiful, especially her father. He is stuck in his old ways and he's blind to the fact that this town that used to be very beautiful is falling apart and is now considered a ghost town. You know, he's very stubborn and he doesn't want to admit to failure. Since she feels like she's being looked at through a microscope from her parents, she's very rebellious, okay? So her parents, especially her father, aren't a fan of that, so they kind of cut her off a little bit of the money. And you're probably asking, how's the 100 baby challenge gonna be put in this? Well, it just adds an extra challenge. But since she is an only child, I feel like she wants to be surrounded by, you know, family. She's just been an only child, been scrutinized by the eyes of her father. Not so much her mother. Her mother's just like, she goes with the flow. So she finds, I guess, love that she doesn't find from her father in romanticizing other Sims. And she's just unlucky and ends up being the mother of 100 children in the process, okay? So that's the story that we have so far. Okay, and this is Mr. Glenn. Mr. Glenn, who, you know, he's an angry old man, but he tries to do the best, but he's just very stubborn. So he's a technophobe vehicle enthusiast because I want him to have like a side activity. So he'll probably, like, with the abandoned car that came with Roaring Heights, he'll probably work on that on the side. So like that's the idea. He'll probably sell that. And you know, he's a vehicle enthusiast with all these abandoned cars, which you know, he's working on. He's gonna get to it, okay? He says that he's gonna do it, but like never does. But the idea is he loves cars, you know. This will get worked on even though it's been sitting there for like 20 years. He will work on it. He will get to it. Trust him. Trust his word. He's definitely grumpy. He's frugal, which is very important because I have the mod that allows your Sims to have their own bank accounts. So with that mod, the 22 simoleons that you see here is all owned by the family. And then Sabrina is going to have 0, or probably like, I'll just give her like 100 simoleons to her name. But yeah, I'm excited to use that. But yes, this is Glenn. Let's just have him harass the world if you don't mind. So they're not poor. They're making money from the only business that is still running, which is the mother Sora's book budget shop. So this is one of the incomes that they have to help them stay stable. And like, people do come here. Like, that's the only part, like, people come here for like those cheap prices, you know? So Sora, she could technically work at the consignment store because she does own it. And then in the future, I need to like put and organize everything on the shelves and probably put more of her like antiques in here, like her family heritage that she'll like to share from where she lives from World Adventures. And she kept her last name, which is Yamazaki. And yeah, that's Sora. It's very cute. And then the other place that they do have, they make their income is from this cemetery, which cemetery/church, I guess, which Glenn is the head of, you know, keeping track of the dead. I don't know who wants to bury their loved ones here, but I think a big majority is like their ancestors, or a lot of them are buried here. And speaking of dead ancestors, I started this house and this house was haunted. It was haunted. So you do have the visitors of old ancestors, which I'm still gonna change their name. Like, the only one I was able to change is this one because Pauline is the only ancestor sister that we have been blessed with her presence so far, you know, spooking up the place. But yeah, so the theme is past McMullens. You know, they're making sure that she is living up to the reputation of continuing her family's legacy, which her father has done a great job at continuing, as you can see. Please sense my sarcasm because obviously the town is falling apart. Anywho, since her parents did cut her off, they put her into one of these abandoned old houses that they own to say, we're not giving you money, but we will give you this house because we kind of do care about you, but we're not gonna baby you. You gotta do your own thing. So this is the house that they gave her. It's a pretty big house if you ask me, but you know, it is haunted, and it's the house that you walk in and the floors creak, and she obviously doesn't mind it or how dirty it is because our girl is a slob. She really doesn't care about being cleanly. So she has a lot of her art things because she does a lot of street art. Make sure that you have this juice keg, and she definitely had a bar installed, which her parents weren't too happy about, but she purchased it with her own money. As you can see, the fog, this town is super foggy, so it creeps into the house. Yeah, this is the living room. She keeps it nice over here. She hasn't trashed this place yet. It looks sad and abandoned, but she didn't trash it, you know. Surprised this flower is still alive. Yeah, so this is the kitchen. Okay, so this is like her slobby side of her, which she has chips, popcorn, and unwashed cups, which aren't gonna be washed anytime soon because she's gonna use them. You know, why wash them when they're gonna be used, right? That's her mindset. And her father does not like technology, so she actually snuck this TV in to the house without his knowledge. Now going into the upstairs, I believe we have a creepy nursery, which will not only have one crib, but you know, she's gonna be busy. So we have 2 rooms available, and then other houses that she could purchase once she like makes a lot of money. But this is her room right here. It's very rustic, I guess, and it's cluttered, but it's like perfectly organized in her mind. You got her glam, you know, even though she's a slob, she likes to look good. So she has her magazines and her makeup station. And yeah, so this is our girl, Sabrina. She's gonna be chaotic, but I'm excited to start this journey. So this is the main manor of the town. This is the house that her parents live in, and the house that Sabrina was booted out of and booted into the haunted house where, you know, she lives with the ghost, which is, it's fun, right? Fun. Anywho, let's tour the house. Okay, so walking in, you are greeted with a very fancy entrance and, you know, what is that, chandelier, I guess? Nice floor, you know, they make sure to keep everything clean and don't, you know, we don't want rust on the windows. No. This is beautiful, sparkling clean, right? And then you go over here and you are greeted with their nice living room. You know, make sure, especially in the main manor, that there's no technology because that's a big no-no for the father. He sees technology, he's gonna automatically sabotage it. So it's just instinctual. Unfortunately for him, he's just a grumpy old man and harasses the world with his angry cane, okay? But we love that vibe. We love playing with elders. Okay, so going upstairs, this is the parents' room. I made the mother with the background that she's from, like, you know, World Adventures, how they have China included. So I feel like she's from that part in the Sims world. You see like lots of like antiques in that in her store, and I definitely kind of wanted to include like some of her favorite art pieces that she collected or brought over from where she used to live. And then this picture I absolutely love because I feel like maybe it's them when they were young and in the glory of, you know, living and like being owners of the town when like people actually like lived there and like there was no fog and it wasn't infested with bugs, you know, the glory days. And then I never use these flowers because I feel like they look so like, they look like fake flowers that you see like in old people houses. So I'm like, oh my god, perfect for like these houses. Very nice, very nice. 5-star stay. And then next we have this room, which is Sora's room, okay? Sora's room only. And she doesn't hate technology, so it's locked, okay? Her husband is not allowed in here because we have television, okay? He's not a fan of television, so we made sure that it's locked. Actually, you know what? I'll probably move the TV into this room over here, which is, you know, supposed to be hidden behind the books, but I feel like it would be funny to put the TV and like put all the technology in here and then he doesn't know about it. Like I'll lock the door for him. But right now it's just a storage room, but I might make this the little tech room that Sora has and just doesn't tell her husband about. But just for aesthetics right now, I put the TV right here because I don't know what else to put here. Like, what do you put here? Maybe it's just gonna be a reading room. And like I might put just a table there to, I don't know. But yeah, this TV is gonna go in here soon. But in game, it's like totally blacked out. So I think they have to inspect it first to be able to use it. So that would only be Sora. If you're interested and intrigued by the story, make sure to follow me on Twitch because this is where I am going to be probably mostly filming all of the adventures with Sabrina. So yeah, definitely check me out. I will post live updates of when I am on Twitch. And if you can't catch the live, that's okay because I'm going to be uploading edited VODs of my Twitch streams onto YouTube. So don't worry if you missed it, but you know, it's fun to be there live. So yeah, hope you enjoyed it. I'm really super excited and see you next video. Bye.